wonder if that's Metallica or something like that.
You've got a list.
What?
You've got a list. You're the son of a man who was not good. This is it. I'm out of here. I hate all of you fans. Get out of here.
You are unhinged. I can't see you, by the way.
He keeps dropping by after Sally here.
There
I can't believe it. Unreal.
All right, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Q&A presented by Sportskeeda Wrestling, shown exclusively right here on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to like and subscribe while you're stopping by to check out the show. That way you can gain access to exclusive news and information, and that way you can stay up to date with all the latest and happenings in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And as always, joining us here are the two pro wrestling insiders. First up, he is senior editor of Sportskeeda Wrestling. He is also a Hall of Fame wrestling journalist. Let's give it up for the incomparable Mr. Bill Apter.
Well, thank you. It is so great to be here on WrestleBinge.
It's always great. And next up, he's the man who really does get the news before it breaks. It happens all the time. Let's welcome Joe from WrestleVotes Radio. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Joe. Thank you. Hi, Bill. Happy to be here again on another Tuesday night with you guys, and looking forward to what we can get over.
I would say it's great to see you again, but
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, we're taping this show. It's April Fool's, man. I am just sick and tired of hearing about Vince McMahon buying TNA today. Did you guys see that story floating around?
Yeah, but do you know how I knew it wasn't true? Yeah, because I bought it.
There you go. And I like the other one, too. I saw Shane McMahon, AEW, came to an agreement. That was a good one. There were just some real whoppers.
That's not true?
Today. What's that?
That's not true?
No, that was an April Fool's joke. These
man.
guys, whoever did these jokes, really, really pushed it to the limit today. The best one yet was late this afternoon. London announced that they got WrestleMania for next year. So,
yeah.
All right. You know, they get you. But moving on from that, happy April Fools, all the good stuff. Did anybody have that John Cena, Cody Rhodes promo on their bingo card last night? Bill, I'll start with you.
No, I didn't. You know, I keep thinking that so much came out of the mouth of John Cena that he was really ripping into Cody Rhodes like it was really his feelings that, you know, that almost every the thing with the list bothered me. But other than that, it was almost like he was shooting that this is his true feelings. It kind of confused me.
Joe, what'd you think of that promo yesterday at Raw?
I thought it was incredible, excuse me, and I absolutely agree with Bill there. I thought it was, again, laced in a lot of truth, just like his first promo where he was calling out the fans. I really believe he feels this way in some capacity. He was giving Cody some truth last night, I think.
Yes. You know what killed me, though?
What's that?
Everything was great, and then one Cody cutter, and Cena laid down like it just didn't seem like it was. I mean, you know, most opponents need 2 or 3 Cody cutters to be out like a light, but Cena just laid there like it just didn't seem real. It took such a turn away in a positive way from what they had done. Did you both think the same thing, that Cena was just like?
Joe, what'd you think?
Yeah, again, agree completely, Bill. I didn't like how he allowed Cody to hook him and then take, more than a second or two to hit the move. And then he stood over him for what seemed to be close to a minute. I know it wasn't, but it was a really long time. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were looking for that soundbite or whatever. But I mean, I was shocked I wasn't shocked that Cena came out first. What I was shocked at is by the time he grabbed his mic and was about to say something, they hit Cody Rhodes music. And of course, that's a 5 to 7 minute entrance right there. So by the time they got into the hamburgers and French fries of the promo, I thought it was great. I thought it was very well done. I don't know who wrote it, if they just shot each other, they shoot at each other, back and forth. But no doubt, how do you say Vince McMahon without saying Vince McMahon, right? And the same thing with Tony Khan. I thought it was an excellent promo.
There were 2 other things that stood out to me on that show. The Gunther getting Jimmy Uso so bloody.
Oh, that was brutal.
So bloody. We haven't seen that in WWE in a long time. That kind of blood, where it was also on all over Gunther's top
Oh yeah, he was a
half
mess. He was a
there.
mess.
So that really, and it's funny that Cody could use the SH word,
Right.
but when the fans were shouting it out, they kept trying to bleep it.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
they were doing the FUCK. They were trying to blank that out, but I don't think they did a good job. What did you think, Joe? What did you think of that?
I get, allow Cody to use it. It's part of the promo. That's fine. But if, my feelings are always if the crowd is that into it, you got to let it ride. They seem to not want to do that. So that's just a difference of opinions, I guess.
What about the blood wrestle votes, Joe? What did you think?
Oh, incredible. Again, I think the story needed it.
Yes.
I'm a little more into this match now, I think. I don't know how you feel, Bill, but it was lacking. And I think, after what we saw last night, it's no longer lacking in my opinion.
I totally agree with you because now Jey Uso's doubts are even more so because the guy destroyed his brother and made him a bloody mess.
Yeah, they got the emotion full force last night, brothers, all that stuff. My only problem again is that Gunther, I feel like he's getting cheated out of main eventing WrestleMania, whatever night he was going to, because now we do know. I do believe night one is the triple threat with Seth, Roman, and oh my God, why do I keep forgetting
CM Punk?
CM Punk. I don't know why I draw a blank on that. Either way. And then, of course, night two is going to be John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And I feel bad because Gunther is the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but he's not the colorful draw that the other people
Well, he was colorful draw yesterday on Raw. So they picked it up a notch on that one. But we got a lot of questions to get to. We could talk about this all night. I'm sure we're going to get into more of it. I do know there's some questions on the horizon that do center around Raw and so forth and SmackDown. So let's hit the airwaves here. Waffle Range is chiming in. Will we ever see a WWE championship defended in the Royal Rumble again? And do you think it's a good idea? Bill, I'll ask you first.
I mean, who knows at this point? Will we ever see it defended again? Maybe. Possibility. And why not?
Joe?
Yeah, that's a great question, considering if they go through with this storyline of Cena winning and taking it home with him in December. The Royal Rumble's in January. If you need a new champion, this is all hypothetical. But if it happens, I would see 2026 being the year with no champion potentially.
Wow. Okay.
That's scary.
That's scary.
But then again, they have so many titles in that company. Will we miss it?
Yeah, I don't know, but
I don't know.
It's kind of defeating the purpose now. If you win the Royal Rumble, there's no guarantee you're main eventing WrestleMania. So, you know what I mean? Jey Uso and, of course, Charlotte Flair this year is a good example that winning the Rumble doesn't necessarily put you in that main event. So it'd be interesting to see. Okay, we're switching over.
Why do you say that? Jey Uso. Go ahead.
Because Jey won the Rumble. Yeah. And, now, what's that?
Yeah, but he's still getting a world title.
Yeah, they get the title shots and they go to Mania, but usually it used to be that you main evented WrestleMania.
Oh, I don't think that's part of that anymore.
No, that's how I grew up. The Rumble was the big deal, but nonetheless.
Well, grow up now, Joe Lowry, because it's not happening.
Okay, we'll strike that. We'll have the producers edit that out. All right, Todd J, a.k.a. the Jake Man, he's got an AEW question. He wants to know, is FTR going to backstab Cope? And is Cope and Christian going to be a team in AEW? Joe, I'll let you take a stab at that. No pun intended.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I think it's been wild that both those guys have been cleared for a number of years now and haven't been back together as a team.
Right.
I think it's a missed opportunity by WWE before both of them left. And, they've been with AEW now for 18 months or so, and they haven't teamed. So I think if that's where they're going with this storyline, I think everybody would be happy. And I would love to see Edge and Christian one more time at least.
Yeah. Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of the equalizer to the Hardys coming back to WWE.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good fans wanted to see. I still think the Hardys will, even though they were on NXT, I still think they will be on one of the main shows at least once or twice.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, moving on here. The questions are coming in hot and heavy. Matt Ham's chiming in. He wants to know, has anybody heard of plans for the SmackDown tag titles at WrestleMania? Bill, have you heard anything on this?
I have not. I have not.
I feel like we get this question every week. Joe,
We
anything
do.
on your end? Yeah.
No, I'm not sure, Joe, that both sets of tag titles are going to make the WrestleMania card.
Okay.
So it's possible those SmackDown tag titles are defended on that SmackDown prior to WrestleMania.
The night before, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That would make a
Or
lot
if it does make WrestleMania, it might be the free match
True. Oh yeah,
prior to WrestleMania. Sure.
All right. And it looks like Matt Ham's got another question. Are there any talent from Japan you see the WWE signing in like a tryout situation? Not sure if they just had a tryout, didn't they, over in the UK, Joe?
Yeah, they had one on this European tour that, from all accounts, went pretty well. I don't know who they like, who they don't like. But to the question, no, I haven't heard anybody's name out of Japan mentioned.
Neither have I.
No, nothing on your end. Okay. Well, good question, though, nonetheless. Keep an eye on that. Michael, our good friends, always wishing us a good evening, gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. Couple of questions for you guys this week with the news of Mariah May being in a contract year. How serious will WWE's interest be? And do you actually see her making the move to the WWE? Bill, you want to try that one first?
I would see her probably making the move along with Paige. I think it would be unfortunate for AEW to lose both of them at the same time, but I think after Paige, I think Mariah may follow her, or Mariah May has to be away for a few months and then come back again and rekindle the feud against Toni Storm.
All right. Joe, what do you think?
Joe, I think if Mariah May had the ability to negotiate a contract with either WWE or AEW, she's going to get an outstanding offer.
Sure.
And if WWE wants her bad enough, they'll outbid Toni.
Okay.
But I can't see Toni letting her go. I really can't. I think that was an AEW project, really, and she's became a pretty big star. So I think they want to keep her.
All right, excellent. You had a second question. It's kind of relating to the tryouts. Were there any names that you guys recognize from the UK tryouts? Bill?
No, I hadn't seen. No.
Joe, anybody that you saw stand out that might be? Okay.
No, Joe, I had a message from a source about somebody doing great. I'll try to find it as we record here to just drop the name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. No.
All right. Thanks, Michael, for the question. Moving on here. Luck 3Y Charm is asking he's got a Judgment Day question here. Kind of a long one, but let's see what we can do. Yeah. He thinks it's obvious that Liv, Dom, and Raquel will stay aligned post-Mania and Finn Balor is out the door. Will they rebrand those three with a completely new name? That's one question. He loves the dynamic of the trio and think they make entertaining TV, but looks like TJ McDonough name being attached to them isn't helping. Surely Triple H has seen all the complaints about how the Judgment Day has been handled after SummerSlam. So basically he's asking, what do you think happens to the Judgment Day post-WrestleMania? Joe, we'll hit that one up with you first.
I think it's some kind of a split. I could see Finn and JD McDonough going maybe their own way into a tag team potentially. I'd imagine that Liv and Raquel stay with Dom. And then maybe Carlito finds himself, back to working regularly, hopefully. But yeah, I could see a split post WrestleMania.
Okay, Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Dom, Raquel, and Liv will still call themselves the Judgment Day, but we could also have JD and Finn calling themselves the original Judgment Day. Could be a battle of the Judgment Days.
The OTJD.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Real quickly, get into that backstage promo. Liv, I saw a little that Liv dissension. Obviously, she has a problem with Finn Balor. It's obvious and so forth. But I feel that if there was ever to be something to get in the middle of her and Dominic, it's going to be the Finn situation, because Finn and Dom got a big win yesterday and they were flying high and all that stuff. So did you guys get that type of feeling that maybe Liv could be the catalyst for the breakup between Liv and Dom, if and when that ever happens? Joe, you go ahead with that one.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the tension between Liv Morgan and Finn has been on TV for weeks now, and they're building to something, and I could see that being the split. Yeah.
Bill, would you agree?
Absolutely. They say that breaking up is hard to do, but it's on the way. Yeah.
All right. A good friend, Nassim Bahar, is chiming in here. Good question here. Do we know who Ray Phoenix opponent is this Friday? Bill, anything on your end?
I do not know at this point, but I'm assume it's I think it would be possibly Grayson Waller.
Okay. Oh, Grayson Waller. Okay.
Yeah. I just a feeling of something I've heard from somebody who said something to somebody. Third hand news.
Okay. Joe, anything on your end as to Ray Phoenix in ring?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Don't know for sure, but I can go back to the SmackDown 3 weeks ago tomorrow night, the one from Italy. Written in the show before the Liv Morgan Jade Cargill match, there was to be a backstage segment with Nick Aldis telling Andrade that there are new talent coming to SmackDown and he would want him to work with them first. That segment got cut. It was not supposed to be on last week's show, so I don't know where it stands. However, that would indicate to me that at least they had plans at the minimum for Andrade versus Ray Phoenix. We'll see if that happens.
Interesting. Andrade versus Ray Phoenix. If it happens, you heard it here first.
Yeah, but Andrade, I don't know if it would be a 50-50 match because they want to make Ray Phoenix look, like such a spectacular star. But then again, look what they did with his brother Penta.
Right.
The first few weeks they had him working from underneath. So
okay, all right, good one. That's a good one. All right, moving on here. Questions are coming in here. Todd, JKA, the Jake Band's chiming in again. He wants to know, do we think Mercedes Moné is better in the AEW or is she better as Sasha Banks in WWE? He goes on to say he thinks her time in Japan and Mexico has raised her level a little bit. She's a great talent. She goes all over the world to perform. What are your guys' thoughts on her? Bill Apter, Mercedes Moné, is she the CEO? Is it a big business or a big bust?
I don't know about her bust. I haven't, but basically, I think she was more relevant when she was in WWE. Everybody in the wrestling world, the wrestling universe, knew who she was when she was there. I don't know if that's true. Even though they use her so well in AEW, it just there's a lot of fans that don't watch that show.
Right. No, I agree. Joe, what do you think?
No, I completely agree there. I think Sasha Banks was a much bigger star than Mercedes Moné is, and they're the same person. So you could read into that what you'd like, whether it's a machine behind her. Maybe she was just better placed in the WWE than she is here in AEW. But I do think she was a much bigger deal as Sasha Banks.
Absolutely. Yep.
I know a lot of fans they're pretty much split 50-50. If you're a WWE guy or girl, they loved her as Sasha Banks and vice versa with AEW. I just feel her wrestling skills, her long matches, her long game was much more emphasized in WWE than it was in AEW. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to agree with you guys there that WWE is where Sasha Banks hopefully will end up again. So Todd's got another question. Is Bianca turning heel during the last few shows? I noticed fans booing Bianca, especially going against Rhea and Io Sky. Joe, did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, I noticed it. I haven't heard anything about Bianca turning heel.
Okay.
I guess it could be in the plans, but it's not something I've heard.
Okay. Bill?
I haven't heard about her turning heel, but what I do want to bring up is that Rhea Ripley didn't seem to be on her game against Io Sky with Bianca as the referee.
Right.
She was getting killed a lot in that match, and the fans in the UK were really quite behind her for most of that match. Do you agree?
I thought she was booed a lot.
Yeah.
Rhea was. Yeah. I saw a lot of booing. There's a lot of videotape coming out now from fans with post reactions from Rhea getting into like, I know if it's part of the act or whatever. I think the
act,
the booing, the displeasure of the crowd caught Rhea off guard a little bit.
Absolutely.
Joe, would you agree with that?
I would, Joe. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I
she's used to being as soon as her music plays, people go crazy. They did not do that for her. They did it with Io Sky, which surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So, I mean, the European tour is now over. They'll be back in the States. So I guess we don't have to worry about that. All right, Todd's got one more question. He's asking, does Jay beat Gunther? And without Big Jay Uso entrance, does Jay have what it takes to hold the heavyweight championship? That's like a combo question in there, the way he wrote that up. So I guess number one, Bill, does Jay beat Gunther?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I a couple of weeks ago I thought so, because the Yeet situation was so hot.
Yeah.
But the novelty of that may have worn off a little bit, but I just don't see him. I mean, the match that his brother had against Gunther could have now gotten him more furious and more up to winning the title. But
Sure.
I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I just don't see Gunther losing that belt to him.
Joe, what do you think about that? Jay beating Gunther at Mania?
Yeah, Joe. If I were making my prediction tonight, I think so. I was on the Gunther train all throughout, and then yesterday, after seeing what went down, I think I've switched. I think they're going to put the belt on Jay, and I think they're going to go out of there with at least one babyface champion, if not two, depending on what happens with Cena and Cody. But I do think Jay gets the win now after the angle they did last night.
John Cena was quoted, I think it was a Variety magazine, saying that there's a lot of more twists and turns coming. So I'm wondering what that's going to look like here. If he's going to wind up back in a babyface role during the match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Interesting.
Somehow.
Yeah, I know. What do we? We're coming down to days before WrestleMania, so we're going to get a lot.
Yes,
we're going to get a lot of things are going to pick up quickly. So if they're not having already, but we'll see what happens. All right, Michael Ogwekwe is chiming in here. He wants to know the European tour did very well. Will the WWE start considering doing PLEs, Mania, SummerSlam, etc., or big events at big international stadiums like Wembley, Estadio Azteca, Camp Nou, Maracana Stadium, etc., within the next few years? The crowds outside the U.S. are amazing. So do you expect the WWE to start making plans to do these soon? I think we talk about this almost weekly. Joe, they got something coming up in Mexico, right?
Mexico's been discussed heavily. I don't know if it's official. The London thing is always there. They always want big shows. They're always going to put themselves out there to get the big shows. So look, WWE is going to go where they can make the most money, and international has been selling out just as much as domestic here. So I'd imagine they're going to keep going overseas as long as they could.
WWE today, some of their superstars from Netflix are in India, because they are now going to run some shows in India, probably next year.
Wow.
So Netflix became official today in India. The WWE used to be seen on Sony TV there now. It will now Raw will only be seen on Netflix there. And I know our an entire crew from Sportskeeda is over there interviewing some of the superstars from WWE Raw.
Okay. I think I just saw a thing on that somewhere. So WWE in India replacing Sony L1V or whatever.
Yeah. That's why I said that. Nick Khan is very high on the market in India, which is huge for pro wrestling.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tie Balor Club Guys podcast comment in question to this. Do you think with Netflix in India now available, WWE programming, you think it's going to skyrocket the viewership, Joe?
Yeah, I'd imagine numbers go way high. And there's a lot of people out there that now have access. So, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Bill, you agree with that?
Yeah, our own Raju Dasgupta.
Okay.
And I were talking at length about that. And like he said, that will bring a pro wrestling explosion into India. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to want it.
All right. Michael's got one more question here. He goes, what's up with Oscar? When do we see her again? When is Bronson Reed, Ilya Dragunov supposed to be returning? Let's start with that. Joe, have you heard anything about Oscar's return, Bronson Reed and Dragunov?
The only thing I heard about Oscar was weeks and weeks ago. She was not pitched to her, I guess, but pitched internally to be put on the Mania card. It didn't end up happening, obviously. So I don't know if that means she's ready or not. I couldn't tell you. Bronson Reed's into the summer. And I believe Ilya Dragunov's going to be into the late summer, if not the fall. So that's where we're at.
And Bill, same thing on your end. You're
Well,
much
firsthand from Bronson Reed, I do chat with him periodically.
okay.
He's not ready yet, and he can't wait to get back.
Okay.
But he does not have a set timetable yet.
All right, cool. Then he has a long one. He goes, he's got it's like he lists the whole roster here. He wants to know if these people will be getting big pushes after WrestleMania.
So
Oscar,
stop at each one then.
Oscar. You guys, yes or no?
No.
Big push after Mania.
No.
Joe, Oscar.
No.
Okay.
No.
Dragunov.
No.
JD McDonough.
No.
Pete Dunne.
No.
Bronson Reed.
Yes. He's back. Absolutely.
Okay. Zelina Vega. Ooh.
That's a tough one.
I'm in between on that one.
It's Fire.
Another tough one.
Alba Fire. She's one of the bodyguards now, right?
No, I don't see it. No.
Okay. Last one is Finn Balor. There you go. Big push after Mania.
That's tough too. Maybe in a tag team role again with McDonough. So I'll give it a 65% yes.
I know he named off a lot of people. I wanted to get them in to see what you guys could do. We had to play a little word association game.
That's all right.
Well, I like that.
That was that was fun.
Nassim is chiming in again. Joe, I'll ask you this one first. Where is Nia Jax? Yeah, where's she been?
Nia Jax has been, I want to phrase this properly, not cleared. That's the best way I could put it. She was due to be cleared, I believe, 2 weeks ago. I don't know if that's happened. Obviously, she's not been on TV. Don't know if it was an injury or whatnot. However, I do know internally she has not been cleared for action, which is why she hasn't been on TV.
Okay. Bill, anything on your end with Nia?
I think we'll see her at WrestleMania, not in a match, but she will make her presence known.
Okay. And we don't know if that's an injury, Joe, you said, or is it just something else going on, you think?
Joe, I don't know what it is that caused her to be on the inactive list.
Okay.
Don't want to speculate. Hate to do that. So
okay.
I just know that she's been inactive.
She's been inactive and not
with the anticipation of coming back. I believe it was on March 22nd. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, maybe I can work for an update, see if I can get some more on that. But I don't know why she's not been cleared.
And Nassim is chiming in again. He wants to know what's up with R-Truth. Where's he been? Any update, Bill?
Oh, I have no update on him, but I definitely miss his presence in WWE. Yeah.
Joe, anything on your end?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to lie about R-Truth.
That's what's up, man.
That's a good one there, Bill.
Okay.
I'm practicing for stand-up in Las Vegas. So
there you go. You'll have plenty of time for that. That's for sure. WWE's Lobby Monster is chiming in. He goes, with it being April Fool's Day, so if you are watching this on Tuesday, April 1st, it is April Fool's Day. He's got a question for each of you. Same question. What's the most foolish thing that WWE has ever done? Bill, you've been around the longest. What's the most foolish thing that WWE's ever done?
That's a great, tough question. Probably Katie Vick and Triple H.
Oh, necrophilia.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer, Bill.
That's the first one that came to my mind.
Joe, can you top that?
No, I can't top that. I'll go less deep. I'll say something storyline-wise. How about the failure to ever do Sting versus The Undertaker?
Oh, God.
I think that's the most foolish thing they've ever done.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's huge. That's huge.
By the way, for you fans who are watching who are younger and don't know what the heck I was talking about, just go to Google and put in Katie Vick and Triple H.
Okay. Yeah, that's that. I don't know if you want them to do that.
They like to say, "What's that guy talking about?"
I think the anniversary of that came up like over the winter or something like that, and the videos were out there. Trust me, they were out there. So crazy stuff. All right, so we do have some additional questions real quickly here. Let me just jump over to this side here. Let me see coming in here. All right. Do you guys think we'll see The Rock show up before WrestleMania? Balor Club guys asking that. Yeah, that's another thing I'm a little eked out here is where's The Rock? I mean, it's crunch time now.
He's doing a movie. He's in Europe doing a movie.
I know, but I don't know. I know he'll be at WrestleMania, but do we see him before then, Joe?
I don't think so.
Joe, do you think?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't. I don't have any information. My gut says yes. I think there's going to be just this moment that they can hit an ultimate surprise, and he walks out and he spices up the Cody Cena match even more. But I don't know. I certainly don't know for sure. So we'll see.
All right. And Bill, what do you think on that?
Yeah, no, he's not going to miss WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, he won't miss WrestleMania, but will we see him before that? That's the only thing that's really...
No, because people are wondering where he is. So the surprise, they're all going to expect him to show up in an evil role at WrestleMania, and I think that's what's going to happen.
All right. Another question from Balor Club guy. He's asking, with Punk main eventing night one, since that's not the favor, as we know now, that's not the favor. What would you expect the favor to be? He thinks it would become the number one contender for the world title. Bill, what do you think the favor is? CM Punk's actual favor?
A night with Becky? No. I'm not going to go back to that.
Wow, the man. Okay.
No. That's a great question. What the favor will be? It's got to be something to do with Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
Okay.
Somehow, I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Something that he's going to maybe ask Heyman to come to the ring with him, possibly at WrestleMania instead of Roman Reigns.
Joe, what do you think the favor is?
Yeah, I was thinking something similar to that. I don't know if it involves the world title. That gets tricky. Even in storyline, Paul Heyman's not a general manager. He can't just make matches. So it's got to be something that they could, write that Heyman can easily decide or dictate. And he can decide whose corner he wants to be in, right? So maybe that is the favor.
Yeah, we got to look at the long-term storytelling here. Triple H is great at it. We have to probably research the archives. But if you noticed on SmackDown last week, he did acknowledge Roman Reigns, tribal chief and all. Yeah. So I don't think it's something to do with him and Roman per se. I think, whether it's a world title, I mean, Roman's not a world champion.
But when he was bowing down to Roman Reigns and all that, I think that was all shtick. He was making it like he had it, he was being sarcastic. I don't think it was genuine.
Okay.
Joe WrestleVotes, you think it was sarcasm?
If that's where they're going with this, then it would make a lot of sense. Heyman's perfect at this kind of role. I just don't know, Bill. I don't know. It's a good secret that they've kept since Survivor Series. It really is.
It's great. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's something tells me that this favor it's going to be long term. So we have to research whether it's promos or matches, even if we have to go back 10 years or whatever like that. What is that favor? Because it just can't be something blasé. You know what I mean? It's got to have some true meaning to it. The only thing that comes to mind is the world title. It's the world title. Punk
against Gunther, but what would Paul Heyman have to do with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, that's what I don't get. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, we would definitely have to research the archives on that, so forth. But let me see. I think I saw.
Well, it could be just a brand new idea. Searching archives may not help at all because this could be a fresh idea.
Okay. I had the honor today. I want to thank Bill Apter of interviewing Speedball Mike Bailey from AEW, which will be shown on Sportskeeda Wrestling soon. We talked in length about his big match this weekend at AEW Dynasty, going up against three-way with Kenny Omega and Ricochet. He had some great things to say about Kenny Omega, not so great things about Ricochet. Bill, I'm going to ask you first. Who do you see winning that match this weekend?
I actually see Ricochet because they've turned him. They've turned him into a really good heel. I love what they've done with him. He's very stuck up. His interviews have been great. and I think they're going to shock everybody, and he's going to take that belt, and it's going to disgust everybody.
Joe, what do you think?
That's not a bad idea, especially considering it's a three-way. Unfortunately, they could pin Mike Bailey there, and Kenny doesn't have to take the loss.
That's right.
Right.
That's a good idea, Bill. It might happen.
Yeah, I think he's at the height of whatever he's going to be, and that international championship would fit him perfectly. He's got that great cocky attitude. I'm very drawn to watching him.
Yeah, Ricochet seems to be very cocky for a guy who hasn't won a match in AEW yet. So,
But his interviews are great.
Oh, yeah, his interviews are great. I love the interview last week. They did the promo. Did you notice he was dressed in his tuxedo for his wedding?
Yes.
So, no days off for that guy. What'd you think of that, Joe?
I didn't know he was getting married that night.
We found out the next day, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be legit and good for him and Samantha. Congratulations. But I thought that was kind of fun to tie it into the show.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And Bill, what'd you think? Ricochet, about to get married, goes and does a promo for AEW.
Why not? I mean, his wife gets it. She understands.
Yeah.
That's it. That is
part of the business.
It is part of the business.
Yeah.
It's a huge business. And is there any one match you guys are looking forward to for the Dynasty pay-per-view this weekend that stands out?
Actually, that one.
Oh, that one, the triple threat?
Yeah.
Joe, any match stand out for you as well?
I think Moxley's going to try to make do. I think he's going to bring his best after the main event stinker last month with Cope. So I think him and Swerve going to be really good.
Right.
I hope it's the end of the Death Riders angle. So I'm rooting for Swerve.
Too.
Sure.
But we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a good show either way. Their pay-per-views are always incredible.
I'm looking forward to, and Speedball we both agreed on this. I'm actually looking forward to Toni Storm and Megan Bayne. I want to see how Megan Bayne performs on a big stage like Dynasty pay-per-view.
She's an Amazon. She's amazing. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be a great match. I think physically they match up well. I mean, Toni Storm's got the low center of gravity and so forth. The Megan Bayne is the Amazon, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great match. I don't think it'll be a bloodbath like her, like Toni and Mariah May were, but I do believe it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be a hard-hitting match.
I do too, and I think Toni Storm will retain, but it'll be a hell of a match.
Yeah,
agree.
Joe, you agree with that?
Completely agree. I think it'll be a great match. I think Megan Bayne is great. I think she's got the look, the size, the power, everything. I think she's great. I just don't think she's championship material yet. So I expect.
Can you imagine her against Nia? Can you imagine her against Nia Jax in like 2 years?
Money match.
Yeah,
that would be a money match. That'd be really, really good. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Joe, any teasers for WrestleVotes Radio this Thursday?
Yeah, another PLE date and location potentially, as well as we are working on nailing down what night which matches are happening. Don't know if we can do that by Thursday, but we've got some questions out. Hopefully we get some answers back and we can give that to you guys on WrestleVotes Radio.
We are missing something very important today. We did not get one message. When is Brock Lesnar coming? I know.
That's kind of dwindled off since the Rumble, though. Since the Rumble is dwindled.
Yeah.
But you just reminded everybody, so I'll have to ask you, when is Brock Lesnar coming back?
I was told sometime in October.
Joe, what's going on with the karaoke thing with WWE during WrestleMania? Is that a real thing or was that April Fool's?
No, I had to get you guys somehow. Yeah. I mean, my report was strictly April Fool's. If there is one out there now, I do not know about. But I figured everybody was singing the last 3 weeks in Europe, so let's bring it over to WrestleMania weekend and see what we could do.
All right,
karaoke, Cody Rhodes, but they have to have the words on the screen.
But Bill, you're the Bill, you're the king of karaoke, though. Come on.
I am.
All the way.
It's right behind me. Take me 5 minutes to hook it up. One day we will do it.
All right, awesome, good stuff, good stuff.
Joe Lowry? What's your who's the singer that I should be doing songs of?
Barry Manilow.
Well, no, I thought you have a different genre of music that you like.
Oh, that you could try?
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, maybe?
Yeah. I mean,
Frank.
I'm a crooner. What about you, Russell Votes, Joe?
That I'd like you to do.
Yeah. What's your musical taste?
DMX.
Wow, I'm all over the place. I do like Metallica. If you can do a little Metallica.
No. I could do Ramones.
How about Billy Joel?
One song. I do one of his songs regularly.
Which one do you do, Bill?
Don't go changing, try and please me.
Wow. I thought you would have done Scenes of an Italian Restaurant. That's what I thought you would have
No.
Oh, that's a great one.
Meanwhile, I like the Billy Joel of We Didn't Start the Fire in the late 80s. So
Oh yeah, that was a great song too.
all right, good stuff here. I want to thank everybody for joining us for tonight's Q&A presented by Sportskeeda Wrestling and shown exclusively right here on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge YouTube channel. Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel to gain access to exclusive news and information. That way you stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of professional wrestling. With WrestleMania season in full swing, the news is coming out fast and furious, so you want to be the first to know. By the way, this whole thing is done on Patreon. I always get yelled at every week by our producers. You got to subscribe to Patreon to get access to all that good stuff. But nonetheless, Sportskeeda, WrestleBinge, YouTube, all that good stuff. Just sign up. That way you guys can stay in the know. And that's going to do it for all of us here at Q&A. As always, I'm Joe Lowry. Bill, Joe, take us home.
Joe, we will see you
At the matches.
That's right. AEW pay-per-view. Leave your comments. Who's going to win?
Dynasty.
Yeah.